We've talked theory. Now let's code your first class like a boss. Time to stop talking and start coding. So we're building a custom class and creating objects from it. This is the foundation of OOP. Trust me, this is where it gets fun. So head over to IntelliJ and please let's open a new file. So we can open a new file, a new Java file, call it object oriented programming, or you can just call it OOP for short. So after creating a new file, this is what we're going to do. We're going to be writing our first class. Now, what is a class? We're going to be illustrating what a class means by using blueprints. So what is a blueprint? A blueprint, as you can see from the picture, is a pattern of a house, okay? So it's like how a house is going to be built. So in the blueprint, you can see the living room, the kitchen, the tables, the dining tables, the chair, and everything. So your classes are like blueprints. This is where we define what we want in the building. This is where we define how many doors, how many windows should be in the building. Now your object is taking this blueprint you are seeing right now on your screen and going to a land and building it from zero to hero. So that is what we mean by object-oriented programming, classes and objects. So let's head over back to our IntelliJ and so we're going to be creating a person class. Now, in a to find a person, what makes a person a person? Name and age. So we're going to create the blueprint of a person. Now, how do we create the blueprint of a person? We come below this class that is already public. Now note this class is public because the class is the class, or sorry, the name of this class is the name of our app. I'm sorry, our file. Okay, so this is why it's carrying the public keyword is public. Okay, it's in this public folder. It's public, it's open. Okay, that's the right word, it's open, so it's not hidden. So now if I'm declaring another class and I call it public class person, this is actually a blunder because we can only have one main public class and that class is this, so we can only have one class to a file. So all we need to do after writing a main public class, we can now remove the class from the second one and just write class of person. Okay, but if you write it another public class, then you would be having two classes in one file. So what do we need in this? We need the string of name. Then we also need the string of age and the integer of age. What does this mean? This means in the person class, we need the the we need a name for the person and we need age for the person. Now, why are we putting string here? So that the user doesn't type integers in place for a name. So he types strings. And for age, he use integers instead of typing string as name. Right? So not only that, we want to be able to tell this code to say hello. So this is a method. Notice I'm using void, meaning this method is not returning anything back to the user. That is why I'm using void. So I'm just going to paste my system.out.whatever. Hi, my name is this. So now we want to call this method. But note something over here, let's put something in a comments. So the name the name and age are instant variables. So this and this, they are instant variables, meaning they are just declared without value. Okay, so in JavaScript, we use let to say let age, meaning age is going to be defined later on in the code. But in Java, you don't stress yourself, you declare it normally and you assign later. Okay, so now say hello is a method. I will say it's using void because it is not returning anything. Step 2 is to use the class in main. So now let's just write this as step 1. Step 1 is to define the class. Let's write this above. Define the class. Then step 2 is to use the class in the main method. And like I said before, the main method pattern is constant. It is always this, um public static void. So the public here means general, static means it doesn't change, void means it's not returning anything, hence no object can be created from this. Then main is just the general name that makes this file to be able to run in our IDE or also compile. Then these strings, if you hover on top of yours in your PC, you will see a lot of things coming into the string. So this is not actually to bother you much. This is just taking strings in form of arrays. Okay, so there are some things the computer sends into this function in arrays and also in other argument forms. All right, so that is just the general way of writing our entry main line. So now inside, we want to create an object from this class of person. So what we want to do is we want to create the object. How do we create the object? We create the object by saying this person, we're going to copy it and we're going to put it here. So this is the syntax, meaning the first name should be copied, duplicate file found in person.java. Okay, no wonder there's an error right there. All right, so we're going to copy this exact class of person here. That is the first entry point to creating an object. So you collect the name of the class first, then now you give your variable name. You can call it person one. Okay, you can call it whatever you want. This is yours to control. Whatever variable name you want is yours to control. The next thing that is not yours to control is the new keyword. So this is compulsory when creating an object. Then the next thing is coming back to call this with brackets. Okay, so we are calling the class name with brackets. So if this was to be a man, you say man, man, woman, woman, woman. Okay, just whatever is there. The only thing you have control over is this, and you have control over naming your class. So whatever you name your class is what you use to create an object of the class. Now we now want to access the name and the age. So we want to give this instant variable values, right? So how do we give them values? So we call our variable we declared earlier as person one. Immediately we hit on dot, you see we have two things. We have the age and the name. I will see the data type is saying string and int. So if you're not seeing mine on my screen, then you can see yours on your screen. So we have declared for the name and we have declared for the age. So John Doe is 18 years. Now let's say John Doe should say hello. We want to access this say hello function here. All we see is person one dot say hello. That's it. Then what if we want to say person one should also his age should be printed? So we can add that as a function here, saying void say age, all right? And let's see, we're returning integer of age on, yeah, let's do that. Then we should say, notice this is a constructor, and I'm not using this. We're going to learn what constructor means. So let's keep on with the method. We're saying system dot out dot print age, and this is age. Okay, so what would this print to our console? Let's see. It's compiling and it says, hi, my name is John. Notice this is not called automatically. Why? It is because I have to call this in our Java main method. So notice if I have a method in my class and I do not call the method from my main method, it does not get called automatically. That is why classes are useful. So we can keep a method in a class and not even get to access it till maybe later on as we code. So now for me to access the say age, all I just need is to call it, and when I run the code, there's a bit of an error. Create method say age in person. Say age. Yeah, it's already here. So why is it telling me to create the method again? Say age, which is this. Say hello, say age. All right, I don't know why the error. Let me see. Yes, there is an error. So just watch as I debug this error to see, so you to learn how you can code yours and debug. So I'm saying person one, which is this, dot say age. Okay, so I need to pass in the parameter age. Parameter is already passed in here. Okay, I get why the error is there now. All right, so I wasn't supposed to take in any parameter here, because if we are taking a parameter here like I did before, then when I'm calling this function, I need to pass in a parameter as 18. Okay, then it becomes the age value for here. Value of the parameter age is always 18. Okay, so I do not want to make that intensely or make that look complex. So let's go with this simple one where the age is already automatically set here. And when we say person.say age, it uses the age that was declared earlier and was declared here and becomes hi, my name is John Doe, age 18. So if this is confusing for you, please do it to go through this again and try to understand more. So you just created an object P1 and made it do stuff. Now, here's a general breakdown. First breakdown is person is the blueprint. Like I said before, your person, your class person is the blueprint. Now, this person one you created is the object. Then, if we are going to create, sorry, this one here is the object. Then now we see person one dot name and age. They help us store data to this class. Now, the say hello right here is a behavior because it is a method. So now I have a challenge for you. You are to create another person object, give it a name and age, make it greet you with say hello. Okay, so it could greet you saying, hi, my name and my age is, I just wanted to say hello. Okay, you can write something like that. So all you need to do is create another person class, maybe in a new file, and okay, sorry, another person object in the same file, just by saying class, then call it maybe another person. Then inside you just create the object of person P2, which is person 2, equals new person, brackets. Then under the next line, P2 dot name equals this, P2 dot age equals this, and say hello. There you system dot output age is blah blah blah. So you know what to do, so just do it and come back to this video. So congratulations if your code ran successfully, and that shows you're improving. So, and boom, you've just wrote your first custom class in Java. So next we'll talk about constructors, special methods that make object creation cleaner. Okay, so like, sub, and comment my first class if you coded along. So you could do that in the comment section, most importantly, or you could do that in any social media platform of yours with a link to this video in, or a link to this channel below your hashtag, so other people can get to see this video and we could easily achieve our 1000 subscribers goal with ease. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. Peace.